So I came on as actually a temp position for our front office receptionist. She was going out on maternity leave, and so I came in and covered for her for the first several weeks. And then after that, they said, well, you know what? You've done a pretty good job. Like, we'd like to keep you around for a little bit. Do you think you can help out around the office? And so I was like, sure. So we had a horseshoe kind of shaped office at the time, and I would literally go from door to door to each person in their office and ask them if there was anything they would need help with, such as filing or making copies or anything, back whenever we used copiers, right? And then shortly after, I was asked to come on as a permanent employee, which I was thrilled about. And I started working with our publishing team. I absolutely loved it. Unfortunately, we did end up losing that contract. So that's when I made the jump over to procurement, because I had a couple of people within our office I was familiar with, and they suggested that that might be a good fit for me. So I went ahead and went over to procurement, and I have been with procurement for 17 of the 19 years that I have been here at Parsons. So when COVID-19 hit, we were obviously all told that we had to stay home. And during this period of time, there were a lot of things that were going on. There were a lot of pressures that were happening. At first, I was making it, I was floating along, but then it got to a point where I really felt like I needed to make a jump or a new start somewhere. I had a previous manager that I worked for here at Parsons, and she had been asking me to join her at her startup small business. And eventually she asked me at just the right time during COVID, and I was like, sure. So I went ahead and I left. It was a hard decision because I really loved my manager here and my teammates, but I also knew it would be a good opportunity for me. So I went ahead and left. And then I helped them over there build their policies and procedures and build their forms. And then just a lot of the getting them organized. And then about a year and a half later, well, before then, I had my manager from Parsons that kept asking me to come back. And about a year and a half later, he asked at just the right time, and the opportunity was open, and I went ahead and I took it. So thankfully, I was fortunate enough to work in the San Antonio office before COVID hit, and we actually had a good team base here. And so I've been friends. I have interfaced with these individuals outside of Parsons, and we've actually kind of had a hand in just watching each other's kids grow up and just being a part of, you know, some of us getting married and whatnot. And we even still from time to time are connecting even now that some of us have gone over to different communities. But then apart from that, I stayed in contact with my former manager, and I was a part of LinkedIn, so I made sure I was staying connected that way as well. Here at Parsons, especially given that I've had so much time within procurement, it gave me that base knowledge of procurement that I did need, especially when I carried over to this new company. So I was a part of team meetings that we had, of course, collaboration between myself and my teammates, and watching my manager honestly handle a lot of the things that he handled. He handled some really tough situations, and he was always really good about making sure that we were a part of the solution part of it. And so watching him be able to handle those things made it easier for me to draw from whenever I had run into those situations, just within Parsons and also within the new company that I had been a part of. So for me, it was my manager at the time, and it was also my former coworker who was still over at Parsons. She really talked about the things that were changing over here. She was really excited about a lot of the new policies and procedures that were being updated and some of the new systems that were taking place. And her excitement honestly kind of got me enthused and interested in coming back. In addition to that, I would say it was obviously the 980 schedule. I love that part of it. And then the benefits and the ESOP and just being a part of this Parsons community for so long. I was literally, a young person when I started with the company. And so being here for so long, it kind of makes you want to come back home in a sense. I prefer to talk. My mom says I could talk to a tree if it'll sit still long enough. So I oftentimes wonder what my dog thinks about things that are going on in my house, but I think I'd rather speak every language. It's always going to be Texas because this is where my family is. I have all brothers and sisters and kids and everything. They're all here, so it's always going to be Texas. Oh, definitely Africa. I believe there's a possibility. I personally have never had an experience, but I'm open to the possibility, sure. That would probably have to be that if you fear something, in other words, if there's a big decision that you need to make and you're kind of worried or you fear the outcome, do it anyway, because chances are when you're scared of something, it means you're about to do something brave. Well, for me, my son is autistic and he can look at anything once and commit it to memory. And I really wish I was able to do that because I can only imagine the things I'd be able to get done and memorize. So definitely Italy. It's been on my bucket list forever and I will make it there one day. For me, I'm a Texas girly, so it's going to be chips and salsa and guac. I think picking out the Christmas tree for Rockefeller Center in New York would be pretty awesome. Just being able to be around all those really great big trees, and Christmas time's my favorite holiday. So yeah, I think that'd be great.